Your teen's eye roll is a weapon of mass communication, and usually, you're the one who pulled the trigger. You think you're being supportive, but to your teenager, your words sound like a dial-up modem trying to download a 4K movie. Slow, glitchy, and completely out of date. You say, "How was school?" and all they hear is, "Please provide a detailed deposition of your daily trauma." We've all been there, standing in the kitchen while our kid treats our voice like background noise at a construction site. You're holding a plate of sliced apples like a peace offering, and they're looking at you like you're a stranger asking for spare change. It's frustrating, it's lonely, and frankly, it's exhausting. But here's the thing. Communication with a teen isn't about being right, it's about being safe. Today, we're breaking down 5 specific phrases that are secretly killing your relationship and the linguistic shifts you need to make to turn that shut door back into a conversation. Let's start with the first phrase on the hit list. The classic "back in my day." We usually whip this one out when we see them struggling. Maybe they're stressed about a friendship, a math test, or just feeling overwhelmed by life. In our minds, we're offering a roadmap. We're saying, "Look, I survived this, and you can too." But to a teen in 2026, it sounds like you're bragging about surviving the Stone Age. When you say, "Back in my day, we didn't have phones to distract us. We just went outside," they don't hear a lesson on focus. They hear that you have no idea what it feels like to have your entire social reputation managed by an algorithm 24 hours a day. They hear that their struggle is invalid because yours was harder. Your experience isn't a bridge, it's a wall. The reality is that their world is fundamentally different from the one we grew up in. Instead of comparing timelines, try the reverse interview. Instead of telling them how it was for you, ask them how it is for them. Try saying, "The way you guys have to navigate social media seems incredibly draining. What's the most exhausting part about being online right now?" By doing this, you let them be the expert. When a teen feels like they are teaching you something, their guard drops. They stop being the defiant child and start being the informative guide. The second phrase is the dreaded low effort. How was your day? This is the cereal of parenting questions. It's bland, it's predictable, and everyone's tired of it. Imagine if every time you walked through your front door after a long shift, someone immediately poked you and said, "Give me a 3-minute executive summary of your last 8 hours." You'd hate it. To a teenager who just spent 7 hours making thousands of micro decisions, navigating clicks, and suppressing their personality to fit into a standardized desk, this question feels like a massive homework assignment. That's why you get the fine, the okay, or the classic "I don't know" if you want a real answer. Stop asking for a summary and start asking for a specific scene. Think of it like a movie trailer. Try, "What was the weirdest thing someone said in the hallway today?" Or, "Who was the most annoyed person in the cafeteria?" Specificity invites storytelling. But even better, don't ask anything at all. Just tell them one weird thing about your day first. Information is a currency in a household. You have to spend some to get some. When you model vulnerability or humor about your own day, you create a vacuum that they will eventually want to fill. The third phrase is the "I'm just trying to help" defense. This usually comes out right after we've given unsolicited advice. We see them making a mistake. Maybe they're procrastinating or handling a conflict poorly, and our parental instinct kicks in. We want to save them from the pain we already felt. But here's the psychological secret. When you jump straight to fixing their problems, you are accidentally sending a message that says, "I don't think you're competent enough to handle this yourself." It feels like a vote of no confidence. It turns you into a fixer and your child into a broken project. Next time they vent to you about a teacher or a friend, stop the fix-it engine, take a breath, and ask them one simple question. Do you want me to just listen, or do you want me to help problem solve? Most of the time, they just want to dump their emotional trash so they can move on. When you give them the choice, you're giving them power. And when a teen feels powerful in your presence, they stop seeing you as an adversary and start seeing you as an ally. Then we have the linguistic crime of slang mimicry. I know you think it's funny. You think saying "that's fire" or "no cap" makes you relatable? It doesn't. It makes you look like a spy who's really bad at their job. Teenagers use slang to create a world that adults cannot enter. It's their secret code. It's one of the few things they actually own. When you use it, you aren't vibing with them. You're parental colonizing. You're breaking the code. It makes them feel like nowhere, not even their own language, is safe from your influence. You don't need to be their peer. They have plenty of those at school who are much better at being teenagers than you are. They need you to be the steady, slightly uncool, predictable anchor. Be the person who says that's great and means it, not the person who says that's a sleigh and looks like they're having a midlife crisis. Your uncoolness is actually a form of stability for them. Don't trade your authority for a temporary, cringy light. The fifth, and perhaps most dangerous trigger is, "Why are you in such a bad mood?" This phrase is the fastest way to turn a bad mood into a household war. Think about it. When you're stressed or hormonal or just had a bad day, does someone pointing out your bad mood ever make you feel better? No. It makes you feel defensive and exposed. For a teen, emotions are like weather patterns. They often don't even know why they feel the way they do. By labeling their emotion, you're putting them in a box. It feels like an accusation. If they're grumpy, they know they're grumpy, and having you point it out just adds a layer of shame. Instead of diagnosing them, just offer a soft landing. Say something like, "You look like you've had a heavy day. I'm going to be in the living room if you want to just hang out near a human. No talking required." This is what psychologists call parallel play. You're offering presence without pressure. You're saying, "I see you're struggling, and I'm here, but I'm not going to poke at the wound." Now, before we wrap up, I want to give you a bonus trap to avoid the why question. Asking a teen, "Why did you do that?" is usually a dead end, because neurologically, their prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for logic and why, is still under construction. They literally do not know why they forgot their gym bag for the 5th time. Instead of why, ask how. As in, how can we make sure that bag gets by the door tonight? Shift from the past, which they can't change, to future, which they can. Communication with a teen isn't about the words you use. It's about the space you leave for them to fill. It's about being the person they want to talk to, not the person they have to talk to. If you stop the investigation, they'll eventually start the conversation. If you've ever felt the sting of a world-class eye roll or the silence of a slammed door, hit that like button and tell me which phrase triggered it in your house today. We're all learning this in real time. Subscribe if this resonates with you, and remember, you're not doing it wrong. You're just dealing with a work in progress, and so are they. See you in the next video.